I'm Nick Barnett, 11-year NFL All-Pro Super Bowl champion. Welcome to California Sports Institute and the first installment of The Lab.
And I'm Chris Munford. I'm the Director of Sports Performance and Science here at CSI, California Sports Institute. And this is our first installment of what we're going to talk about in regards to sports science and sport performance. And our first topic is going to be mistakes that we see in the off-season. And one of the things that Nick has said to me, and we were talking off camera a little bit about sort of the mentality coming out of the season. You want to grab that a little bit, Nick?
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think number one, when you come off of the season, you kind of think that you have more time than you actually have. You know, you're like, okay, well, I'm on vacation. It's vacation time. But no matter how well you've done in the previous season, if you had an all-pro year or, you know, your Pro Bowl, you went to the Super Bowl or whatever it is, you have to attack it the same way as if you didn't have a good season. You have to come in with the same mindset of that you got to improve on everything that every weakness that you found during the season and fix the injuries. You know, it has a lot to do with structure. I think a lot of times, you know, we're young players, you know, let's face facts. You're 21 years old, 22 years old. You know, you really don't get it until it's too late. We have a lot of problems with nutrition. Could you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, and that's such a key thing, because you can have the greatest training program, and we'll talk in other episodes about what that should be like, but you have to have the nutritional foundation to support that. And a couple of the sort of the bang points that we see with nutrition and mistakes athletes make is that they go into the off season and suddenly their lives are a little bit different and they have more time. So you become family oriented and you fall into the sort of the North American meal pattern of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, in the off season, you know how it is. Everybody talks about, I want to gain mass, I want to gain weight, lose weight, whatever that may be.
Right.
And however many calories, you're going to need to do that. And luckily here at CSI, we've got a great registered dietitian who helps us with this. But the mistake that people make is they do not eat consistently throughout the day. So people get into that 3 meals a day habit, where it should be about 6 meals a day to keep your energy levels up a little bit higher. So that's a big bang point we see with nutritional mistakes. The second thing that maybe we should talk about, quite frankly, is timing of your calorie intake. So you know how it is, Nick, 11-year All-Pro, or 11-year pro, comes off a workout, and we see this with some of our younger athletes. They do the workout, they get in the cold tub, they get in their hydrotherapy clinic here, and then unfortunately they go take a shower, get in the car, and they still haven't put any calories in their system. So timing of immediately after a workout, and we like to have our athletes start to eat high quality whole foods by the time they leave the workout space into the locker room. You seen them getting that with that?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, it's hard as a player. You got families, you got things, but those are things you need to, like I said, structure, have in place. You know, if you've got to prepare these meals or do whatever you need to do, you've got to make it happen. I think, you know, one of the things that you brought up too is, you know, this is a thing that's very new to me is dealing with, you know, the body weight to strength ratio. You know, you're trying to get big, you're trying to get strong, you know, you're eating the right calories, but I think all that takes into place, correct?
Right, so and that's a great jumping in point, Nick. So you played at what weight? What's your optimum playing weight?
225 maybe.
Okay, 225, and then the next year you've got a different defensive coordinator potentially and a different linebacker coach who says, Nick, you got to come back at 240.
Right, you come from a 4-3, jump into a 3-4, and now they want you to weigh more.
I want you to weigh more. And that's great, but people make the mistake of just putting on body weight, even just putting on muscle mass. But for every pound you gain, okay, so I gain 1 pound of body weight, okay, even if that somehow that 1 pound is pure mass, pure muscle mass, you have to also increase your output of force by 2 pounds. So there's a 1-to-2 ratio, and even it's especially about your legs. So if you weighed 230 and then you went up to 231, okay, you better produce 2 pounds more of force each leg. So if you don't do that, the weight you're gaining will actually slow you down. So now you'll be heavier in the hole, for example, for a linebacker.
Not power.
Yeah, but now you won't be able to explode through somebody. So that what we do here at CSI is we structure the workouts after taking a look at all the metrics and make sure that they're hitting the right workout systems and equations to make sure that that body weight, if it needs to be an increase, doesn't come at the loss of muscle twitch fiber explosion.
Speaking about structure, I know a lot of times as I was a young athlete, it was hard for me to figure out actually when I was supposed to start working out when the season was done. I didn't know, it was like, keep going all the way through or take a little break and vacation. I didn't know how to attack that. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, that's such an interesting point. And this is something different that people used to do in the past. And I think, to be quite honest, give credit where credit is due, it comes from Vern Gambetta, who's sort of the father of functional performance in North America. And one of the things that Vern mentioned in some of his writings was that after a football season or any major sports season, we tend to just shut down. But actually, what they're finding out is it's a little bit more efficient that literally a day or 2 days after that last game, you're actually back in your performance program almost at about 85% of the intensity level that you were, and then you take that down gradually for 2 weeks, and then you hit your rest period. So it's not just
new stuff. I haven't heard right
yeah,
here.
because so what happens? Your nervous system is used to, I'm used to doing this, I'm used to doing this, and if you shut it off and then try to ramp up from a complete shutdown without a gradual
makes
down,
sense.
it's like a cool down.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely makes sense. I mean, I think we get into that point where, the season's over. Like, all right, I'm gone. I'm going to the Bahamas. And
Exactly.
I think one of the mistakes we make when we do that, when we go on vacation, is that we don't. You get there and obviously your alcohol consumption is up, but you forget to take advantage of working out at these facilities. Is that important for them to do, or can they take a week off anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, once you've come down that sort of that cool down period, we'll call it the cool down period after the season. Yes, we obviously are going to build in. You need some mental break, you need some rest time, etc. On vacation, so we've got the on vacation early packages. What these guys are doing, yes, we'll try to get some general prep movement. Okay, a lot of, if they have access to some massage, etc. But one of the key things is how you structure your fun and play and what you put in your body.
Right.
So, I mean, work time's over, you want to play. One of the key mistakes that even the highest level athletes make is not understanding what alcohol consumption is going to do with them. Are you not going to go out and have some fun? Absolutely, but you have to understand that every time you consume alcohol to a point that you are moderately inebriated, so not fall down drunk,
Just feeling good. That's what we're
moderately
talking about.
inebriated, not 2 to 3 drinks,
Yeah.
but a man your size, like 5 or 6,
Yeah.
okay?
Well, you can feel it.
So you can feel it, all right? You will now negatively affect your ability to do any sort of training of value for at least 72 hours.
Wow.
So a 3-day period. So again, you have to be able to unwind, but you have to be able to say, okay, I'm going to my off season, I've come down, I've done my gradual cool down, this is what coach has given me to
I
do.
don't like this talk, but
This is what coach has given me to do. But now I need to sort of say, okay, I know that this is an easy time right now. He's going to give me 4 days between workouts. It's Friday, that's my last workout. I'm good till Tuesday. Now I can find a little bit of more fun time.
So you're saying there's a 72-hour window you should give yourself when consuming that amount of alcohol, not just the casual 1 or 2 drinks,
Right.
but the I'm feeling buzzed.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, and that comes down also into your off-season plan. And one of the things that we do here at the California Sport Institute is we try to make sure that the athlete has some balance going into that off-season. And as you know, you've just played 20 games. You probably haven't seen your wife and your kids, for more than an hour a night for 20 weeks plus training camp. There has to be some sort of life balance woven into that.
I think you're definitely right about the balance that you have to do as an NFL player coming off of the season, or any professional sports player.
Absolutely.
Haven't seen your wife and your kids. I mean, as a younger player, you don't have as many responsibilities or many people tugging on you. As you get older and you start to get married and have kids, and I think it's very important for your mental health, number one, to be around your family and give them that time as well. But you're still in a career. You're still in a profession that doesn't last very long. And your family obviously has to know, and your wife has to understand, there is a sacrifice you make with that time. But as a player, you have to make that time for your family as well. It's very important. They're here working their tail off for you as well.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to show them the same type of love, I think.
Yeah, and that goes in again to the structure and the plan of things. all right?
Structure.
So when you go into your off season, it's nice to go get a workout,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're with another 8 guys and you work hard, you go together, and that's all well and good, but that's not particularly science-based.
Right.
What we try to do is look at your physiology, okay? Your biomechanics, how you produce force, how you expend energy on the field, your bouts of movement. And we also have to look at your life patterning, okay? It literally takes about 40 hours of work just to understand him, both from the physiology aspects and from the mental aspects.
I've seen
before
about
we-
5 hours of it, and it's all just, it looks like a workout the whole time.
Yeah, and but that's before we even start
Yeah.
to create the program.
Yeah.
So
With all that said, you know, the number one thing you could take out of this conversation with Chris Mumford and myself is structure. You know, we're not saying go out there and live like a robot, eat, drink, but build your structure around your lifestyle. Make sure you have a plan to excel. We're not trying, no plateau. We're going to excel and do it the right way. There you have it. Nick Barnett, Chris Mumford at the California Sports Institute, giving you some key components to take with you in the off season.
welcome to the lab.